Hey guys, Rinji here, and there has been Twitter troubles once again of a testing kind, of the SA kind this time around, unfortunately. But this goes back way into the past, but the past in today's story is very important because some people try to bury the past, their own past or the past of their family. And you may be asking yourself, well, how is this relevant to today's topic? Well, because a very well known, or these days you could even say infamous, Twitch streamer, now moving on to YouTube because of many controversies, and probably also because they're about to get permanently banned from Twitch. But then again, this is my speculation on what's going on here. And I'm of course talking about Tectone, a popular gacha YouTuber and Twitch streamer that has gotten into so many controversies over the years. I would have to have several hours to count them all up, and I will have to have even more hours to relay all the facts of all of the cases that he's been involved in, not to mention the very many deflections, projections this man has been guilty of for so many years. But today's case is a special one because this time around I don't think there's something he can get out of as quite easily as he did in some other instances in his career. But again, in the case of these other situations, there's so many people that have covered it on social media as well as on YouTube and other places that you can seek out that type of content on your own without me having to give you the Spark Notes version of it. But without further ado, let's get into today's story as Tectone on May 4th makes this statement, and I'll give context for the statement after I read it. I am genuinely considering full swapping to YouTube if this terrorist propaganda isn't punished harshly and immediately on Twitch. My father, my brothers, and our soldiers did not bleed, sacrifice, and die for this bullshit. Be allowed and promoted on Twitch. This needs to change immediately. And Tectone here is referencing a lot of the far lefty streamers on Twitch. In particular, one Hassan Piker about Twitch. I've recently also made videos. It's funny how all of these things keep getting connected to one after the other. But again, that's neither here nor there. And considering what kind of things Hassan and his ilk have promoted over the years, he's making a grand statement that he no longer wants to be associated with the platform to allow terrorist sympathizers on it. And then he invokes something that will get him into trouble in just one tweet. His father, a soldier in the US Army. But there's a story behind his father. We'll soon learn that, as next tweet happens just 2 days after that, as Tectone is responding to this account called Yeet.x. Hassan is zeroing on Tectones right now. Specifically Tectone's dad for an alleged previous sexual harassment in the army. Bold rapist himself, it's a familiar obligation over here, quoting what Hassan has said. To which Tectone responds, bros, going after my 75-year-old cancer-ridden dad because of an alleged SH claim 17 years ago when I was 15 years old and tried to paint me as a rapist. This guy is fucking psychotic. He must be upset because his best friend's on trial right now. The funny thing about that is that neither Yeet here nor Tectone are right, because these are not alleged claims. Tectone's father in fact got convicted of these things and have served jail time because of it, among a plethora of other punishments, but we'll get into that. And as far as, you know, Tectone's history with women, There have been several sexual misconduct allegations against him as well over the years, most of which he kind of brushed off or tried to paint his accusers in a bad light. A lot of it has never surfaced any clear evidence if he did it or not. But these things have been piled on onto him, and his behavior is very indicative of someone that doesn't have all of his things together when it comes to women and how he treats them. But again, that's just a little bit of speculation on my own part here. We will not go into any of that moving on. However, as I was mentioning, Tectone's father is a completely different case. As this here Xertonox account on X has revealed a little bit of truth about Tectone and his father, and as those allegations went, which turned out not be just simple allegations. Twitch streamer Tectone's father has been revealed to be Colonel Michael Robertson of Fort Bliss, Texas. Robertson was convicted by a military judge of 14 charges, including sexually harassing 3 women and assaulting 5 women. He was sentenced to 3 months in prison, which is a ridiculously low amount for such a thing. But let's zoom in on an article here that's been posted along with this tweet. And let's take a look at the highlighted portion of it. Last week, Colonel Robertson was convicted by a military judge of 14 charges, including having pornography on his government computer, sexually harassing 3 women, and assaulting 5 women. So, nope. Not something alleged. This has happened, and it's been a very, very public case because it has even reached Congress. And the fact that his dad became so infamous has set a precedent for a specific set of laws to be put into place because of that. So, in a show of some very morbid irony, Tectone's dad is responsible for the army having better laws against this sort of behavior. But bad things always need to happen first before anything is done in the first place. But let's read this tweet first. Colonel Robertson was ordered to pay $30,000 fine over 3 months and spent 3 months in prison. Again, incredibly short time for the amounts of things he did. He was forced to retire from the army when he finished his sentence. Robertson was not required to register as a sex offender. And there's an even link to a government website of the Congress regarding this case from 2011. And there's even a YouTube video of a congresswoman speaking about it. It was a super public case. It's not something that was hidden from anybody. But then some people would say otherwise, especially Tectone himself. There's another X account here by the name of Jake Chinatown has presented 2 videos back to back in which Tectone actually mentions his father. And you'll see the contrast between the two very fast. Tectone talking about his father's sexual assaults before there was proof versus after he was exposed. And let's play those videos back to back. First is a video before it was exposed. Let's take a quick look at that one, shall we?
I suppose, due to this all being resurfaced by Hassan, I suppose I will no longer be interacting with my father in any way, shape, or form on my stream or my content. The past 24 hours have been very shocking. It has been very alarming. And I don't really know what to think.
For a quick correction, this was after all of this stuff has went down. And now, a video from 2 months ago, where he first gets quote-unquote notified by a chatter about what his father had done. Let's take a quick look at that one now.
You can do it. Your father went to jail for the same rape shit. Oh, really? Wait, tell me more, man. Tell me more. What else? Who'd my dad rape? Oh, by the way, Jonas at St. Thomas, I deal with people like this on a daily basis, by the way.
Oh, I know.
Yep.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yep. Who? 5 women in the military accuse your father of rape. Really? That's crazy. You think so? What else? You want to talk about my dead granddad too? That's the part where we usually go. We usually go from the dad and then we bring up the dead grandfather. Do we want to talk about my grandfather too or no? That's why he went to jail discussing vote. Really, man? That's interesting. How do you know so much? How are you so all-knowing, man? Tell me more things that I don't know.
So as you can see here, he tries to play it off as if it's no big deal, especially in that second video. And what's even worse, he tries to blame Hassan, of all people, for these things resurfacing in the first one after all of this stuff has already happened. Despite the fact that people have been messaging him about it, dunking on him about it for months now. And this was not the only instance. And if Tectone wants to play that card where he just didn't know, it's a little bit unusual. It's a little bit suspicious to think that at the age of 15, when your father had to go to fucking prison for the things that he has done, and with something that was so, and I mean incredibly public, so much so that it went to Congress, Tectone himself would have to been locked up in some sort of closet without any access to anything for whole 3 months without knowing. Was he so sheltered from the truth? Did he try to repress the truth in order to, you know, have to have a peace of mind, so to speak? Or is he just, you know, crying crocodile tears because shit got exposed, and the fact that he's been parading his father as a military hero, and even including him in some of his streams, has led to a little bit of controversy here? Well, you'll be the judge of that, dear viewer. Is he just trying to pass the blame and blame the victim, or did he genuinely didn't know? I personally think it's all bullshit, and he's just trying to maintain any shred of relevance that he has and retain some sort of fan base. And don't get me wrong, because people like Tectone, they do not care where they get their popularity from, whether it's genuine popularity for the content they produce that's high quality and everyone wants to watch, or because of multiple controversies that they involved in and constant drama that they themselves create. It doesn't really matter, because as long as they get that attention, it's all good for them. There will always be sycophants, especially if you've seen and read the chat, especially in that first video. You've seen the people sending him all the well wishes of love and support, despite him being a crude piece of shit. But there will always be people like that. There will be people defending little Hitler if he resurrected these days and saying he did nothing wrong. But that's, you know, just the nature of it all. Nature of society in which we live in. And especially the nature of the fucking internet. But again, that's neither here or there again. Because this is not where it ends. And as I was saying, his father went to prison when he was 15. He knew what happened. Because otherwise he would have to be, again, put into some sort of room that was completely closed off from any sort of information getting in there for him not to fucking know that. It's really unbelievable that he didn't know. And again, for proof, when this first clip, and by first clip I mean the clip where he just plays it as if these allegations are nothing too serious, has been taken 2 months ago, as explained by Jake Chinatown. When was this first clip taken? 2 months ago. And then, in January of the same year, people have been very closely bringing up who Tectone's dad actually is, and the fact that he continues to parade him around on stream. With the users Black saying, he brings this man around all his friends, the roommates, and even brought him on the SNE podcast. Now he is on the right side, there's his dad. So again, dear viewer, whether you believe Tectone and that he's just a completely innocent party in all of this, the fact that he just didn't freaking know and he's just an innocent little bald baby, or the fact that he may just be a complete piece of garbage that doesn't deserve any sort of respect, that's up to you to decide which one of these he is. But you know, considering all of the allegations against him, considering all of the things that he has done to people over the years, including what I personally find incredibly reprehensible, he tried to ruin a small YouTube gacha channel about Blue Archive, labeling that guy as some sort of sex pest and sex predator for making lolicon jokes. Yes, he tried to take a guy down, all because of that. He had a whole harassment campaign going against that guy. And why? For shits and giggles? Who the hell knows? But you know, with all the other allegations of being a sex pest that are hovering around his own head, you could even say that, you know, the apple doesn't fall very far from the tree. Or in this case, a fucking egg doesn't fall far from the chicken's butt. For right now, that's everything. And I do hope to see you on the next one.